Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the two biggest cities here in the Triangle, Raleigh and Durham. And which one is better? And which one's better for you? Let's dive in. There are some major differences between the two cities, so let's find out and see which one ranks on top and what the differences are in those. All right, so here's what we're going to use to rank the cities. We're going to talk about schools, their downtowns, the types of housing options they have, one of the most important factors, traffic, and then last we'll dive into the levels of crime. And we know that's important for everybody when considering a move. So if this is what you want to know about, then keep watching this video. It's just for you to decide between Raleigh and Durham. All right, so there's about 204 public schools in Raleigh, and you can check out their niche profiles to find a school that best suits the needs of you and your child. Of course, we have the public schools and magnet schools that go into that. And of course, there's also private schools. Durham County only has 56 schools, so there's a big difference in the number of schools. Going off niche, Wake County is ranked number 2 and Durham is ranked number 5. We can also see from the map here that the percentage of A-ranked schools is higher in Raleigh. So while there are excellent schools in both, and a dedicated parent could get into a highly ranked school, we're gonna have to give this one to Raleigh just for the number of good schools alone when compared on niche here. So one of the biggest differences in the way that we do schools here in the Triangle is it's county by county, not necessarily town by town. So Wake County has a certain amount of schools and Durham County has their own schools. So if you live in Durham County, you're not allowed to go to a Wake County school, and vice versa. If you live in Wake County, you can't go to a Durham County school. So do keep that in mind as you consider these options between Raleigh and Durham and which kind of school system you're gonna be looking into. Is it Durham County or Wake County? All right, so Raleigh's up 1-0 right now. Let's dive into the downtown. So if you're looking for a downtown scene, then we're probably gonna give this one to Durham. Quite frankly, in my opinion, the restaurants are better, the ability to move around is better, and honestly, it has a more unique and just a better overall feel. And honestly, what could be better than having a baseball stadium in the middle of your downtown? Going to a Durham Bulls games is one of the favorite activities for my family. We love to go check those out. And so it's just got a really great atmosphere. But again, honestly, the restaurant scene in Durham is so well known throughout the state and much of the Southeast. And it's just a better restaurant scene than downtown Raleigh right now. Another thing about downtown Durham is there's a few more activities. Right now, I would say that they have a better options as far as the amount of hotels for people to stay in. If you go to downtown Durham after 5 o'clock, it's a very vibrant and kind of active place. And Raleigh is missing that a little bit right now. They haven't seen the return to office like downtown Durham has. And so for that reason, Durham does just have a bit of a more vibrant feel right now than downtown Raleigh. Downtown Raleigh's doing some great things on the weekend, lots of festivals and stuff like that. It's just, when you think of it as a holistic view, I'm gonna have to give this one to Durham just because of all the things that they have going for them right now in this moment. All right, so now let's move into the housing options and the different types of options that you have in both. So honestly, both have a great number of options in both of them. But if I'm gonna choose, I'm gonna give this one to Raleigh. There are some really nice historical sections in Raleigh like Oakwood and Mordecai, but then there's also a lot of new construction going on in 5 Points and other areas of downtown Raleigh. So I'm gonna give this nod ever so slightly to Raleigh. I think Durham has great options. It's a little bit more eclectic in some of their neighborhoods. For example, like the Duke Forest neighborhood has some new construction, it has some historic homes, and it's got a mix of it all. But honestly, I think the community feel that some of the neighborhoods in downtown Raleigh have overtakes that. For example, the Oakwood community, which we've done a video about before, it's just an awesome neighborhood. It's walkable to restaurants and bars, and downtown Durham doesn't necessarily have that feel. They do have some walkable options. It's just not as much of a community type feel as downtown Raleigh's neighborhood. So we're giving this nod to downtown Raleigh. So score 2-1 for Raleigh. All right, so let's dive into the traffic. This is an important one, but it's a hard one. Depending on where you want to be and what you want to do, then these options could change. RTP, the Research Triangle Park, is closer to Durham, as honestly, that's kind of where it was built. And Durham is about 45 minutes west of Raleigh, so that means your drive to the mountains from Durham is shorter. That's awesome. But your drive to the beach is a little bit longer. So if you have friends or family in one of the suburbs, like Cary or Fuquay or Nightdale, Raleigh's going to be a shorter drive. If you want to go to Chapel Hill, well, then Durham is where you're going to want to be at. So this one's going to be a tie. One thing to note is that getting in and out of Durham at the moment, well, there's slightly more traffic than the Raleigh area. I think downtown Raleigh has more of a grid, and Capitol Boulevard, as awful as it is bigger and traffic moves more than it does in downtown Durham. So for this one slight edge to go to Raleigh, though let's note, if you're used to large cities like New York or compared to traffic in California, this is gonna be nothing for you. I will say, we always joke in the Triangle area that anywhere you're going takes 15 to 20 minutes from where you're coming from. Those times have grown as the area's grown, so maybe we should start saying 25 to 30 minutes now, but you can honestly get everywhere pretty quickly. I will say a ride from downtown Raleigh to downtown Durham is about 45 minutes, so it's not exactly a short drive, and you can hit traffic. I will say the 5 o'clock traffic in downtown Durham is pretty brutal. If you're planning to come from Raleigh to one of those Durham Bull games, you might want to leave a few minutes early just to make sure that you get there in time. All right, so let's talk about safety. This is an important one. We're using statistics, we're using data here. Overall, the violent crime in Lake County is 2.84 per 1,000 people, is lower than it is in Durham, where it's 6.43 per 1,000 people. Though this may be slightly misleading. Durham has undergone massive changes, and we see those pockets of crime coming down. So rather than just looking at the city as a whole, we highly recommend that you look at the specific neighborhoods that you're considering and do research on the crime that's happening there so that you can understand that. Comparatively, according to visualcapitalist.com, the safest cities in the US have total crime rates of 8.6 per 1,000 people and lower. So basically, they're considered very safe cities here in the United States. But because of the lower rate, we're gonna give Raleigh the nod here. Honestly, we could have gone either way on a couple of these, but Raleigh takes the edge. Again, you gotta make your own decision and choose what's most important for you, but today, we're giving Raleigh the nod. If you think we got it wrong, tell us why. Let us know in the comments. And if you're looking to move to the area, whether it's Raleigh or Durham or Chapel Hill, and whether your timeline is 20, 60, or 90 days, find our contact info in the description below and reach out. We have people contacting us all the time, and we're happy to answer your questions and help you get moved here to the area. If you want to check out our other videos where we overview Raleigh and Durham, I'm going to link those videos here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.